Stand with me for a moment, not in our world, but thousands of years ago, on a high windswept ridge. The air is sharp, the land below wild and endless. There are no roads, no wires, just the raw earth and sky. Our task, to watch, to wait, to be the eyes of our people. We're not looking for armies, but for messages, smudges of grey, puffs of white, signals from distant peaks. Communication wasn't instant. It was earned, crafted, and vital. Imagine being a scout, unable to outrun danger, your voice lost in the valleys. Yet with fire and ancestral knowledge, you could send a warning faster than any horse. This was the art of the smoke signal, a silent alarm, a lifeline. A missed or misunderstood signal could mean disaster. The watcher was a crucial link, reading the sky, the wind, and the subtle language of smoke. Patience, discipline, and readiness were essential. Lives depended on clarity. This world spoke in many tongues, bird cries, animal tracks, cloud shapes, but for deliberate, long-distance messages, fire was the ultimate tool. By day, its smoke, by night, its flame, a beacon of ingenuity. Standing on that ridge, you were part of a network both simple and complex. It was a testament to our drive to connect, to warn, and to survive together. The tension of waiting, the relief of a clear signal. These were the rhythms of ancient life. In a world without instant communication, every message mattered. The silent watchers were the guardians of their people's future. Before wires and waves, the world was vast and slow. Merchants, nomads, and villagers needed to send messages across mountains and plains. The landscape was the greatest barrier. Messengers on foot or horseback could take days, risking life and outdated news. Fast, reliable communication was essential for survival. Fire became the answer. A bonfire at night, a column of smoke by day. Smoke was a deliberate mark on the landscape, visible for miles. This realization turned the horizon into a canvas for conversation. Scouts could report game, watchmen could warn of danger, villages could call for help. Smoke signals wove isolated communities into a fragile network of shared knowledge. The world began to shrink, not by technology but by ingenuity. These ephemeral threads of smoke were as vital as water in the well. Smoke signals are simple in principle, but their mastery is an art. A thick, visible plume requires the right materials: green leaves, damp grass, wet moss. Control is key. A damp blanket traps smoke, then releases it in distinct puffs. Each puff, each pause, each color could mean something different. Prearranged codes for all is well, enemy sighted, or gather here. Some cultures even used smoke color for added meaning. The signaler had to read the wind, choose the right spot, and time the message for maximum visibility. White smoke against a cloudy sky was useless. Every detail mattered. This was a language written on the wind, shaped by geography and weather. The skill blended technical craft with deep environmental knowledge. Only those who understood both could truly speak in smoke. It was communication as much with the land as with other people. Smoke signals are a universal invention, born of necessity. In ancient China, beacon towers along the Great Wall formed a chain, smoke by day, fire by night, sending messages hundreds of miles in hours. The number of smoke columns could signal the size of an invading force, allowing for a swift strategic response. In North America, native tribes like the Apache and Sioux used smoke to coordinate hunts, warn of danger, and guide their people across vast territories. A scout on a butte could direct hunters or alert the tribe to threats. The Inca Empire used mountaintop signals to supplement their legendary runners, sending urgent news across the Andes. These systems were disciplined, systematic, and highly effective. Smoke signals were not primitive. They were the nervous system of empires and tribes. Across continents, the language of smoke was a tool of survival and power. It was a technology born from the land, shaped by the needs of its people. The echoes of these networks still resonate in our history. To outsiders, a puff of smoke is just that, but to the trained, it's a sentence. Each culture developed its own codes. Secrecy was security. The signaler's craft required patience, precision, and deep knowledge of local plants for the best smoke. Technique mattered, clean, distinct puffs, not a hazy blur. Geography and timing were critical. High ground, clear sight lines, and the right light made all the difference. Early morning or late afternoon gave the best contrast. The signaler read the wind, the light, the terrain, writing messages on the sky. The receiver had to be just as skilled, distinguishing signal from accident. This was a partnership built on trust and vigilance. The system was a conversation with the landscape, a dance of observation and response. Survival depended on the clarity of each smoky word. The unseen grammar of smoke was as real as any spoken language. A single smoke signal's range is limited, but the relay system changed everything. Observation posts on high points, each within sight of the next, formed a living network. A message leapt from peak to peak. Each watcher only needed to replicate what they saw. The Great Wall's towers are the classic example, but similar systems spanned the Americas and beyond. Relays weren't just for war. They announced ceremonies, called for aid, and coordinated movement. The system's strength was its simplicity. Each operator needed only to receive and repeat. As long as the watchers were vigilant and the air was clear, the message would get through. The landscape itself became the medium for human thought. This was communication at the speed of sight, binding societies together. The relay system was robust, scalable, and brilliantly effective. It turned geography from a barrier into a bridge. Unlike today's centralized systems, ancient smoke networks were decentralized and resilient. There was no single point of failure. The network was the people and the land. Disrupting a relay meant capturing every post, nearly impossible. Watchers were experts in their terrain, posts were defensible, and the system was flexible. If one post failed, another could quickly re-establish the link. The tools, fire, green vegetation, a blanket, was simple and portable. You couldn't jam a smoke signal. You had to physically block it, revealing yourself. The system's strength was its adaptability and self-sufficiency. Everything needed came from the land itself. This made the network as durable as its people, impossible to switch off from afar. It was a living system woven into the natural world. Ancient communication was as resilient as the communities it served. Today, smoke signals seem quaint, but our high-tech world is fragile. When disaster strikes and the grid fails, we're thrown back to ancient challenges. That's why military and survival experts still train in primitive communication. Smoke signals can't be jammed or hacked. For bushcrafters and rescuers, a smoke signal is a vital survival tool. 3 puffs, the international distress call. Knowing how to make and control smoke can mean the difference between rescue and being lost. The old ways teach resilience, ingenuity, and self-reliance. They remind us that the simplest solutions are often the most effective. Understanding the land and its resources is a timeless skill. Preserving these arts isn't nostalgia, it's practical wisdom for uncertain times. The lost art of smoke signals is a vital part of our human heritage.